My
There's
name is
something
Diana
truly
Martinez,
magical about the golden
35,
hour.
and I'm standing
Everything
in my
is
Austin,
softer,
Texas high-rise
warmer,
apartment
and full of
staring at my brother's
possibility.
graduation announcement. The ceremony is tomorrow at UT Austin, and I've already booked my flight from New York, prepared my gift, a $5,000 check to help him start his career, and cleared my schedule as chief marketing officer of a Fortune 500 company. My phone rings. It's my mother, Rosa Martinez. "Diana, about Miguel's graduation," she says, her voice strangely flat. "I'm so excited, Mom." My flight lands at noon. "Plenty of time for the 4 p.m. ceremony," I reply, already mentally planning the celebration dinner. There's a long pause. "It was last month, Diana. We sent you the wrong date." The announcement slips from my fingers, floating to my marble floor. I bend to retrieve it. The date crystal clear. Tomorrow, June 15th, 2024. "What do you mean it was last month?" My voice is barely a whisper. "These things happen," she says quickly. "Miguel didn't want to fuss. You know how he is. But I know my brother. Miguel loves attention, loves celebrations. This wasn't his choice." As I grip the phone, remembering the $40,000 I paid for his education, the apartment I co-signed for, the car I bought him, rage builds in my chest. They deliberately excluded me from his graduation, the culmination of education I funded. "We'll talk when I get there," I say, my voice now steel. "Oh, you don't need to come now." I hang up. They think they can take my money, use my success, then erase me from the moments that matter. They're about to learn that Diana Martinez doesn't go down without a fight. Ever felt betrayed by the very people you sacrificed everything for? Drop your story in the comments. And please hit that subscribe button for more stories of family drama and ultimate revenge. Growing up in El Paso, Texas, in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment near the border, I learned early that in the Martinez family, I was the responsible one. My father, Carlos Martinez, 62, worked construction
There's something
when his
truly
back allowed
magical
it.
about the
My
golden
mother,
hour.
Rosa, 58,
Everything is
cleaned houses for
softer,
wealthy
warmer,
families,
and
coming
full
home
of
with stories of
possibility.
their excess while we ate beans and rice for the 5th night straight. My younger brother Miguel, now 28, was the golden child, smart, charming, destined for greatness if only he had the chance. I was 12 when I started working. Not officially, of course, but Mrs. Chen at the corner store paid me under the table to stock shelves before school. $5 an hour, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. Every penny went into our family jar, the one Mom kept on top of the refrigerator for emergencies, which seemed to happen weekly. By 14, I was tutoring kids in math and English, charging $10 an hour when I could get it. I'd found I had a gift for explaining things, making complex ideas simple. My teachers noticed too. Mrs. Davidson, my AP English teacher, pulled me aside junior year. "Diana, you're going places," she said, her gray eyes serious behind wire-rimmed glasses. "Don't let anyone hold you back." I wanted to believe her. But when you're sharing a bedroom with your grandmother because your parents can't afford a bigger place, when you're wearing the same 3 outfits on rotation, when lunch is whatever you can buy with the core 50 you scraped together, going places feels like a fairy tale. Everything changed when I won the National Hispanic Scholar Award my senior year. Full ride to NYU, including room, board, and a stipend. I remember my dad's face when I told him. Pride mixed with something else I couldn't identify then, but recognize now as fear. Fear that I'd leave and never come back. "Mia, that's so far," Mom said, her fingers working her rosary. "New York is dangerous. Stay here. Go to UTEP." But I couldn't. I'd suffocate in El Paso, watching my dreams shrink to fit the boundaries of what my family thought possible. Miguel was 11 then, all gangly limbs and crooked smiles. "You're really leaving?" he asked, and I promised him I'd come back for him, that my success would lift us all. New York was a slap in the face and a revelation. My roommate Jennifer casually mentioned her parents paid
There's something truly
$70,000 a
magical
year
about
for
the
her
golden
education, like it was
Everything is
nothing.
softer,
Meanwhile,
warmer,
I was
and
working
full
3
of
jobs on top
possibility.
of my full course load. Campus tour guide, weekend shifts at a coffee shop, and freelance translation work for local businesses. My marketing professor, Dr. Williams, became my mentor. He saw me falling asleep in his 8 a.m. class and pulled me aside. "How many hours are you working, Diana?" "About 30 a week, sir." His eyebrows shot up. "On top of 18 credit hours?" I nodded, ashamed. "That's not sustainable." "Let me help you find better paying work." He connected me with a marketing firm that needed bilingual interns. $20 an hour, flexible schedule, and real experience. It saved me, but even with better work, I sent money home monthly. First $200, then $500, then more as my income grew. Dad's back surgery, Mom's diabetes medication, Miguel's school supplies, soccer equipment, SAT prep courses. Every need became my responsibility. I graduated summa cum laude with job offers from 3 major firms. I chose Morrison & Associates, starting salary $75,000. To my family, I'd hit the lottery. To my New York peers, it was average. But to me, it was freedom. Or so I thought. The calls started immediately. Miguel needed a laptop for high school. 1-500, Mom needed new glasses. 1-500, Mom needed new glasses. 800, the apartment's AC. Broke $2,000. Always emergencies. Always urgent. Always my responsibility. I moved up fast in marketing. My bilingual skills and understanding of Hispanic markets made me invaluable. By 25, I was making 6 figures. By 30, I jumped to a Fortune 500 company as marketing director. By 33, chief marketing officer with a salary that would have seemed impossible to that girl in El Paso, $350,000 plus bonuses. But with every success, my family's needs grew. Miguel got into UT Austin, but scholarships only covered part. You're rich now, Diana.
There's
Mom
something
said during
truly
one
magical
call.
about the golden
Family
hour.
helps family. So
Everything
I paid
is softer,
$40,000
warmer,
over 4
and
years
full
for
of
tuition,
possibility.
room, board. I co-signed his apartment lease, bought him a car, a used Honda, nothing fancy, but reliable. When he wanted to join a fraternity, I covered those fees too. You're the best sister, he'd say during our rare calls, usually right before asking for something else. Dad retired early, his back finally giving out completely. Their Social Security and his small pension barely covered rent. So I stepped up $2,000 a month to keep them comfortable. I paid off their credit card debt, bought them a car when theirs died, covered every medical bill insurance wouldn't, yet I was never quite part of the family anymore. Christmas visits were awkward, filled with comments about my fancy clothes. Target, mostly, but they didn't need to know that. My elite job, my New York attitude. Mom would introduce me to her friends as Diana, the one who lives in New York. Like it was both a source of pride and shame. Miguel grew distant too. My calls went unanswered. Texts replied to with one-word responses. When I visited, he was always busy. Fraternity events, dates, study groups. I told myself he was young, focused on his life. I'd been the same at his age. The graduation announcement had arrived 3 months ago. You'll come, right? Miguel had texted. Wouldn't miss it, I'd replied, already planning my time off. I'd been so proud. My baby brother, graduating with honors, heading to law school in the fall. Which, yes, I'd also agreed to help fund. This was what we'd worked for, sacrificed for. The American dream realized. Standing in my apartment now, announcement in hand, the betrayal cuts deeper than any physical wound. They'd taken my money, my sacrifices, my love, and decided I wasn't worthy of sharing the celebration. My phone buzzes. It's my friend and colleague, Marcus Chen, 38, senior VP at our company. Diana, you okay? You left the office suddenly. I tell him
There's
everything.
something truly
Words
magical
tumbling
about the
out.
golden hour.
Jesus, he breathes.
Everything is
After everything
softer,
you've done,
warmer, and full
apparently,
of possibility.
I make them feel uncomfortable at family events, I say, laughing bitterly. Too successful, too different. You know what this is really about, Marcus says. Control. You have something they want but can't manipulate anymore. He's right. But they don't know everything. They don't know about the trust fund I set up in Miguel's name that I control. They don't know about the property in El Paso I bought as an investment, but let them think belongs to Dad. They don't know I have documentation of every payment, every gift, every sacrifice. They think I'm just the ATM they can use and discard. They're about to learn I'm also the one holding all the cards. The next morning, I'm on a flight to El Paso, not Austin. If they want to play games, I'll show them how a CMO strategizes. First stop, my lawyer, Patricia Stone, 45, who's been managing my Texas investments. Patricia's office is in downtown El Paso, all glass and modern furniture. She reviews my files, expression growing more serious with each document. You own the house they're living in? She confirms. Bought it 5 years ago when Dad was facing foreclosure. Put it in a trust I control, but let them believe Dad owns it. I pay the property taxes, insurance, everything. And Miguel's education trust? $50,000 sitting there for his law school. He doesn't know it exists. Patricia leans back. Diana, you have complete financial leverage here. What do you want to do? I want them to understand that actions have consequences, I say. Drop eviction notices if needed. Freeze the trust. I want every option ready, she nods, making notes. I'll have everything prepared by tomorrow. I drive to my parents' house, my house, technically, in the old neighborhood. It looks better than when I was young. New roof, fresh paint, landscaped yard. All improvements I paid for. Mom opens the door, her face cycling through surprise, guilt, and defiance. Diana, what are you doing here? We need to talk, I
There's
say,
something truly
pushing past
magical
her.
about the golden
Dad's in
hour.
his recliner, the expensive
Everything
one
is
I bought for his
softer,
back.
warmer,
Miguel's
and
there
full
too,
of possibility.
sprawled on the couch, playing video games on the 65-inch TV I sent last Christmas. Family meeting, I announce. Miguel doesn't even look up. Hey, Di, what's up? Your graduation, apparently, I say. The one that happened last month? The room goes silent except for the game sounds. Miguel finally pauses it, turning to face me. Look, it wasn't a big deal. The education I paid $40,000 for wasn't a big deal. My voice is calm, controlled. In boardrooms, I've learned that quiet anger is more effective than yelling. Mom jumps in. Diana, you wouldn't have fit in? All those families, they're not like us. You mean they're not successful? They haven't escaped poverty? Dad shifts uncomfortably. Mika, don't be dramatic. Dramatic? I pull out my phone, showing them my banking app. This is dramatic. $200,000 over the last decade. That's what I've given this family. And you couldn't include me in one celebration? Miguel stands, his face reddening. We didn't ask you to pay for everything. You chose to. You're right, I say. I chose to, and now I'm choosing to stop, Mom gasps. Diana, no. We need what? The monthly payments? The emergency funds? The car payments, insurance, medical bills? I list each thing, watching their faces pale. You need me, but you don't want me. That ends now. You can't just cut us off, Miguel says, his entitlement shocking even me. I have law school, get loans, I say. Like everyone else. Dad tries the guilt trip. We're your family, Diana. Blood. Blood? I laugh. Blood doesn't mean anything when you treat me like an ATM you're ashamed of. I turn to leave, then stop. Oh, and about this house, check the deed. You might be surprised who actually owns it. The last thing I hear is Mom's voice, shrill with panic, calling after me. 2 days later, I'm in my hotel suite at the Hilton when Marcus calls. How's it going down there? They're panicking, I tell him. 20
There's
missed calls
something
from Mom,
truly
50
magical
texts
about the
from
golden
Miguel.
hour.
You holding firm?
Everything
Like
is
granite.
softer, warmer,
Patricia served
and
them
full
notice
of
that the
possibility.
house ownership is under review. Didn't evict them, just let them know their situation. Harsh but fair, Marcus says. By the way, saw something interesting on Instagram. Your brother's girlfriend posted graduation photos. You were literally cropped out of one. My stomach turns. What? There's a family photo where you can see half your shoulder and arm. They cut you out, Diana. The betrayal deepens. Not just excluded, but erased. My phone rings. Unknown. El Paso number. I should take this, I tell Marcus. It's Lucia Vega, my aunt, Mom's sister. Diana, what's this I hear about you cutting off your family? Tia, they held Miguel's graduation without me. Deliberately. There's a pause. I know, mija. I was there. Rosa said you were too busy with work. She lied to you. I know that now. Miguel let it slip at the party. Said something about you making everyone uncomfortable with your showing off. Showing off? I wear Target and fly economy. I drive a Honda. It's not about things, Diana. It's about achievement. You remind them of everything they're not. Her honesty is refreshing. So I should make myself smaller? No, mija. You should protect yourself. Rosa's always been jealous, even as kids. She can't stand anyone outdoing her, even her own daughter. After we hang up, I sit with this revelation. My mother's love was conditional on me staying beneath her, needing her. My success broke that dynamic. A week passes. I'm back in New York when the real assault begins. Mom starts a Facebook campaign, posting about ungrateful children who abandon family. She doesn't name me, but everyone knows. My phone explodes with messages from relatives, some supportive, most critical. Then Miguel ups the ante. He emails me. Subject line, last chance. Diana, I got into Harvard Law. Full ride academically, but living expenses in Boston are insane. If you don't help, I'll have to decline. This is my future you're destroying.
There's something
After
truly
everything you've
magical
done,
about the
why
golden
stop
hour.
now? Unless you want me
Everything
to fail,
is softer,
the manipulation
warmer,
is masterful.
and full of
Harvard
possibility.
Law, the golden ticket. The accusation that I want him to fail. The minimizing of everything I've done as if it's expected to continue indefinitely. I forward it to Patricia. Can we put conditions on the trust fund release? Absolutely. Academic performance, financial transparency, even required family counseling. Draw it up. I respond to Miguel. Congratulations on Harvard. I have a trust fund set aside for your law education, $50,000. It comes with conditions: 3.5 GPA maintenance, monthly expense reports, and family counseling sessions that mom and dad must also attend, non-negotiable. His response is immediate. Are you fucking kidding me? Conditions? I'm your brother. Yes, I reply. And brothers don't crop sisters out of graduation photos. Silence. 3 days later, Dad calls. First time he's initiated contact in years. Deanna, Miguel showed me the email about the trust fund. And? Thank you. His voice cracks. I didn't know you'd done that. There's a lot you don't know, Dad. I'm sorry, mija. About the graduation, Rosa and Miguel convinced me you wouldn't want to come, that it would be awkward. And you believed them? I wanted to. It was easier than standing up to them. His honesty hurts more than lies would have. Dad, I own the house you're living in. Silence. I know, he finally says. Found the papers in Rosa's drawer. She's known for years. The betrayal layers keep building. Mom knew she was living in my house while excluding me from family events held there. What do you want me to do, Diana? Stand up for me, Dad. For once, just stand up for me. Rosa won't forgive this. Then maybe Rosa isn't worth protecting? He sighs, the weight of decades in that sound. You're right, mija. You deserve better. 2 weeks later, I get a call from Patricia. Your mother just tried to take out a home equity loan on the house.
There's something truly magical about the golden hour.
Apparently, she's been telling people she owns it.
Everything is
the bank
softer,
called me since I'm listed
warmer,
as the trust
and full
contact.
of possibility.
Lock it. Already done. But Diana, this is escalation. She's desperate. That afternoon, I video call my family. Mom, Dad, and Miguel gathered in the living room of my house. Let's be clear, I start. Mom, you just tried to commit fraud by attempting to borrow against a house you don't own. Her face goes white. I thought you could steal from me. Again. Like the $10,000 you took from the account I set up for Dad's medical expenses and spent on Miguel's. Fraternity! Miguel's head snaps toward. Mom, you said that money was from savings, or the rental income from the garage apartment I had built? Where's that money, Mom? Dad looks confused. What rental income? The $800 a month from the tenant. 2 years now. Where's that $19,000? Mom's mask finally cracks completely. I used it for expenses. What expenses? I pay for everything. You don't understand the pressure, Diana. Everyone asking how we afford things, knowing it's from you. The shame. So you stole from me to save face? Miguel stands. This is insane. Mom, you've been taking Diana's money while lying about it? For you? Mom screams. For your graduation party, your suits for interviews, your spring break trips? You think Diana's money just covered tuition? The room explodes. Miguel yelling at Mom crying, Dad trying to mediate. I sit silent, watching the family I'd subsidized tear itself apart. Finally, I speak. Here's what's going to happen. Mom and Dad, you can stay in the house, but you'll sign a rental agreement. Below market rate, but official. The garage apartment income goes directly to me. Miguel, the trust fund stands, but with all conditions. Take it or leave it. This is extortion, Mom spits. No, I say calmly. Extortion would be evicting you and pressing fraud charges. This is mercy. Miguel looks at me, really
There's
looks at me.
There's something truly magical
about
about the golden hour.
Di, I'm sorry.
Everything is
About
softer,
the
warmer,
the photos,
and full
everything.
of possibility.
I let Mom convince me you'd make it about yourself. Have I ever made anything about myself? He shakes his head. No, you've always made it about us. That's the problem. We got so used to taking, we forgot you were giving. It's the first honest thing he's said to me in years. I'll take the trust fund conditions, he says. And I'll do the counseling. Mom storms out. Dad stays, looking older than his years. I'll sign the rental agreement, he says quietly. And Diana, I'm proud of you. Not for the money, but for becoming someone who could walk away from this and survive. We never taught you that. You taught yourself. 6 months have passed since that video call. The changes have been seismic. Mom and Dad signed the rental agreement after Mom's attempt to move in with her sister failed. Turns out, Lucia had strong opinions about Mom's treatment of me. The garage apartment income now flows directly to me. I donated to a
I realized
scholarship
I was
fund
jealous
for
of you.
first-generation
Not
college
your money,
students.
but your freedom.
Miguel started Harvard
escaped,
Law with my
and I
trust fund
resented you
support.
for it.
The required
counseling
counseling
requirement
requirement extends
revelatory
to
for
mom and
him.
dad too.
He calls me
Mom
weekly
fought
now,
it initially,
real conversations,
but capitulated
not
when I
requests
showed her
for
the
money.
fraud evidence.
Last
I could
week, he
still
said
submit
something
to
that stopped me
authorities.
cold.
The sessions have unearthed decades of dysfunction, mom's narcissistic tendencies, dad's enabling, Miguel's golden child syndrome, and my role as the family rescuer. Dr. Sarah Thompson, their therapist, requested a joint session with me via video. It was brutal. Diana funded this family for a decade while being systematically excluded, she told them. That's not just ungrateful, it's abusive. Mom tried to deflect, but Dr. Thompson shut her down. Rosa, you stole from your daughter while demanding more. You lied to her, about her, and to yourselves about why. Until you own that, healing can't begin. That session broke something open in Mom. For the first time, she admitted the truth. She was ashamed that her daughter had succeeded where she'd failed.
There's
Every
something
achievement of
truly
mine felt like a
magical about
judgment
the
of her
golden
life.
hour.
I wanted you to
Everything
meet
is
me,
softer,
she admitted,
warmer, and
crying.
full of possibility.
When you didn't, I felt worthless. I did need you, I told her. I needed a mother who loved me regardless of my bank account. The work isn't finished. Maybe it never will be, but there's progress. Last month, Miguel invited me to Boston for his first law school formal. No wrong dates, no exclusion. I went, met his classmates, took pictures that he proudly posted everywhere. My sister, the CMO who made this possible, he captioned one. The comments were telling. His friends had no idea he had a sister, let alone one funding his education. The financial boundaries have held. I still help, but through official channels, the trust fund, the below-market rent, emergency medical funds through a healthcare account I manage. No more cash transfers, no more blank checks, no more enabling. My success continues to grow. I was featured in Fortune's 40 Under 40 this year. Mom sent a congratulations text, brief but genuine. Dad framed the article. Miguel shared it on LinkedIn with a long post about growing up watching his sister break barriers. Marcus, who's become one of my closest friends through this ordeal, made an observation that resonates. You didn't just cut them off, Diana. You cut the dysfunction off. There's a difference. He's right. I still love my family, but I love myself too. That's the balance I never had before. My Aunt Lucia has become an unexpected ally. She visits New York quarterly now, staying in my guest room, exploring the city. Last visit, she said something profound. You broke the cycle, mija. In our family, the women sacrifice themselves for others' comfort. You said no. That's revolutionary. She started sharing family history I never knew. Generations of women diminishing themselves, staying small, accepting less. My grandmother, who died when I was young, apparently tried to start a business once. My grandfather shut it down, said it made him look weak. She never tried again. You're living
There's
the life
something
she
truly
dreamed
magical
of,
about the
Lucia
golden
told me.
hour.
Independent,
Everything is
successful,
softer,
unbowed.
warmer, and full
The
of
revelation
possibility.
reframes everything. My success isn't just mine, it's a culmination of dreams deferred for generations. Patricia Stone, my lawyer, has become a friend too. Over drinks last week, she said, "You know what I admire most? You didn't destroy them. You could have, but you chose boundaries over revenge." She's right. I could have evicted them, pressed charges, ruined Mom's reputation in El Paso. Instead, I chose structure, accountability, growth. It's harder than scorched earth, but ultimately more healing. The extended family has largely sided with me once the truth emerged. Cousins I hadn't heard from in years reached out, sharing their own stories of Mom's manipulations, their relief that someone finally stood up to her. My cousin Roberto told me Mom had borrowed money from him repeatedly, claiming I refused to help with Dad's medical bills, while I was paying them directly. The family WhatsApp group, which I'd been mysteriously excluded from, suddenly added me back. The messages were eye-opening. Years of Mom painting me as selfish, cold, too good for family. The narrative has shifted now. Some relatives are angry at her deception. Others are just sad about the years of unnecessary division. But the biggest change is in me. The constant anxiety about family needs has lifted. I sleep better, work with more focus, and have energy for my own life. I've started dating someone. James, a documentary filmmaker who understands complicated families. He met Mom and Dad via video call last month. Mom behaved, mostly. Progress. I've also started therapy myself with Dr. Michael Roberts, specializing in financial abuse and family trauma. You were parentified as a child, he explained. Taking care of everyone became your identity. Breaking that pattern is like breaking an addiction. He's helped me understand that my compulsive helping wasn't just generosity, it was a trauma response. Trying to earn love that should have been unconditional. Your family's graduation betrayal
There's something
was actually
truly
a gift,
magical about
he
the
said
golden
recently.
hour.
It broke the spell.
Everything is softer,
You finally saw
warmer,
that no
and
amount of
full of
giving would make them
possibility.
value you. The spell-breaking metaphor resonates. I'd been under an enchantment of obligation, guilt, and false hope. The graduation lie shattered it, leaving me free but disoriented. Therapy is helping me navigate this new reality. Work has become even more fulfilling. I've implemented diversity initiatives focusing on first-generation professionals, understanding firsthand the unique challenges they face. My story, once a source of shame, has become a tool for connection and change. Our CEO pulled me aside after a presentation about these initiatives. Diana, your authenticity is powerful. Don't hide where you came from. It's what makes you extraordinary. I've started speaking at conferences about breaking generational cycles, about the hidden costs of success for those from disadvantaged backgrounds. The response has been overwhelming. So many people carrying similar burdens, feeling alone in their struggle. Miguel attended one of my talks when I spoke at Harvard. He sat in the front row, tears streaming as I described working 3 jobs through college. Afterward, he hugged me tighter than he had since he was little. I didn't know, he kept saying. I didn't understand what you went through. You were a kid, I told him. It wasn't your job to know, but I should have asked. I should have seen you as more than just the person who paid for things. His growth has been remarkable. The required counseling has transformed him from an entitled boy to a thoughtful man. He's even started a support group at Harvard for students from complicated families. Last week, he called with news, "Di, I got a paid internship for the summer. I won't need extra money." It was a small thing, but monumental. The first time in years he'd called without needing something. Mom and Dad's progress is slower, but real. The rental agreement has actually helped. Having formal structure removed the ambiguity that enabled manipulation. Dad started a small online business selling his woodworking, something he'd always loved.
There's something
but never
truly
pursued.
magical about the
The
golden
income
hour.
isn't much, but the pride
Everything
in
is
his voice when
softer,
he talks about
warmer,
it is worth
and full of
everything.
possibility.
Mom's harder to read. The therapy has revealed deep wounds from her own childhood. Poverty, abuse, dreams crushed by circumstance. It doesn't excuse her behavior, but it contextualizes it. She's starting to see me as a person, not just a resource or a reminder of her perceived failures. 2 weeks ago, she sent me a letter, handwritten, 3 pages. Not asking for anything, just sharing memories of when I was little, before everything got complicated. She remembered taking me to the library, teaching me to read, the pride she felt when teachers praised my intelligence. "I lost my way," she wrote. "I let my insecurity poison everything. You deserved a mother who celebrated you, not one who felt threatened by you. It's not a full apology, maybe that'll never come, but it's acknowledgement that something, the house situation has stabilized. I hired a property management company to handle maintenance and repairs, removing myself from day-to-day involvement. The professional distance helps. Mom can't guilt-trip a management company into emotional decisions. I've also set up education funds for my younger cousins, administered through Patricia's office. No one knows I'm behind them. I've learned that anonymous giving prevents the obligation and resentment that poisoned my family relationships. My Aunt Lucia asked why I still help after everything. Because I can, I told her. But now I help on my terms, with boundaries, without sacrificing myself. She nodded. You've learned what took me 60 years to understand. You can love people without lighting yourself on fire to keep them warm. Today marks 1 year since the graduation betrayal. I'm sitting in my office, looking at a photo Miguel sent. Him at Harvard, holding a Dean's List certificate. Genuine pride on his face. He earned it himself, with support, but not dependence. Mom and Dad video called earlier. They're planning a small anniversary party. 25 years together despite everything. They invited me properly this
There's
time.
something truly
with the
magical
right date
about the
and
golden
genuine
hour.
desire for my presence.
Everything is
I said I'd
softer,
try to make
warmer, and
We
full of
understand
possibility.
if you can't, Dad
I've
said.
built good gates
and meant
this
it.
year.
Strong enough to protect me, flexible enough to allow
not
growth.
demanding.
The family that
Respect,
once felt like a
not
burden has
expectation.
become a choice.
My phone buzzes.
One I
It's a
make
text
daily,
from my therapist.
consciously.
Remember,
with self-preservation
boundaries
intact.
aren't walls.
To everyone
They're
reading
gates.
this, struggling
You decide
with
who
similar
comes in and when.
dynamics, you're not alone. Family financial abuse is real, insidious, and devastating. It's okay to say no. It's okay to demand respect. It's okay to protect what you've built. Your success doesn't obligate you to anyone, regardless of blood. Your achievements aren't community property. Your boundaries aren't cruelty, they're self-care. I still love my family, but now I love myself equally. That balance, hard-won through betrayal and boundaries, has made all the difference. Thank you for reading my story. Please share your own experiences in the comments. How have you handled family who felt entitled to your success? What boundaries have you had to set? Your stories help others realize they're not alone in these struggles. And please subscribe to this channel for more stories of family drama, financial abuse, and ultimately, triumph through boundaries. Hit the notification bell to stay updated. Remember, you don't owe anyone access to what you built while they were tearing you down. Family is a privilege, not a right. Choose wisely who deserves place in your life. Stay strong, set boundaries, and never apologize for protecting your peace.